19 Slow Living Habits That Simplified My Life. As we journey through the various stages of life, especially after the hectic pace of careers, the challenges of raising children, and fulfilling an array of responsibilities, many of us begin to wonder, what truly matters? How can we slow down and savor the remaining moments, rather than constantly chasing after things that may not bring us the lasting peace or deep fulfillment that we yearn for? Over the years, I have discovered that embracing simplicity, living intentionally, and adopting a slower pace can lead to a more meaningful life, particularly for those of us in our later years. Here, I share 19 habits that have helped me simplify my life and find a greater sense of peace and presence. Although these ideas might appear small on the surface, their cumulative impact can be profound when embraced as part of a more intentional way of living. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe and enable notifications so that you never miss an update. 1. Take 5 minutes of reflection. One of the simplest yet most profound habits I have embraced is to take 5 minutes of quiet reflection each day. In a world that constantly urges us to be perpetually busy, setting aside this small window of time to simply sit with my thoughts has become a stabilizing anchor in my daily routine. There is something incredibly special about allowing yourself to pause and let your mind wander freely, without any particular agenda or purpose. For many of us who have spent decades immersed in work, raising families, and juggling numerous responsibilities, that few quiet minutes become a precious gift, a way to reconnect with our inner selves. At this stage in life, having accumulated so much wisdom, reflection transforms into a means to harvest the lessons learned over the years. These moments also offer an opportunity to contemplate the many blessings, whether they are grand or modest, such as gratitude for a grandchild's radiant smile, the comforting warmth of a sunny day, or the steadfast love of a dear friend. Those 5 minutes serve as a reminder of what truly matters. The habit of reflection is not about forcing a blank mind, but rather about letting your thoughts settle like fine dust after a storm, until the truly important matters gradually rise to the surface. 2. Create device-free spaces. Today's world is inundated with noise, much of which emanates from the devices we carry everywhere. Our smartphones, tablets, and televisions have become constant companions. However, they often act as barriers that separate us from the inner peace we crave. One of the best decisions I ever made was to create device-free zones within my home. Areas where the television remains off, the phone is left in another room, and I can be fully present for myself. These designated spaces include my bedroom and dining room. In my bedroom, I have discovered that I sleep more soundly without the constant distraction of screens, and waking up without the immediate urge to check my phone allows me to ease into the day with greater clarity and intention. Similarly, a dining room devoid of distractions transforms into a haven for meaningful conversation, whether during a shared meal with loved ones or during quiet moments of personal reflection. As we age, establishing these device-free zones becomes even more vital. They serve as a reminder that the tangible world, the one we can see, touch, and experience without the mediation of a screen, is filled with beauty and connection. Such spaces become sanctuaries where one can fully engage with the present moment, liberated from the incessant pings and interruptions of technology. Though it is a small adjustment, the creation of these areas can substantially enhance the overall quality of our days. 3. Drive the speed limit and enjoy the journey. There was a time in my life when I felt compelled to hurry everywhere, driving from one appointment to the next and rushing to complete every task. However, I have learned over the years that life is not a race, and there is immense value in simply slowing down. One small yet significant way I practice this is by consciously driving at the posted speed limit. Although this may sound trivial, intentionally decelerating has become a powerful reminder to savor the journey, both while on the road and in life overall. When one ceases to rush from one destination to another, the world around becomes far more noticeable. The gentle filtering of sunlight through tree branches, the rhythmic patterns of people engaging in their daily routines, and the quiet, fleeting moments that might otherwise go unnoticed. These subtle details become far more vivid when one is not caught up in haste. For older adults who may no longer be pressed by the same time constraints as in their younger days, this habit is particularly rewarding. It encourages us to appreciate the beauty inherent in every moment and to be fully present in our daily experiences. The next time you find yourself behind the wheel, consider obeying the speed limit, not solely as a safety measure, but as a deliberate strategy to reconnect with the world around you. 4. Take the longer line. In a culture that prizes speed and efficiency, it might appear counterintuitive to deliberately choose the longest line at the grocery store. Yet this seemingly small act is a way of practicing patience and embracing the slower pace of life. For me, it has become a gentle reminder that not every moment needs to be rushed, and that sometimes waiting can yield its own set of rewards. Standing in a lengthy line provides an opportunity to observe the world with a fresh perspective, to witness the kindness of a cashier, to note the subtle interactions among people, or simply to appreciate the rare, quiet moments of pause that are all too scarce in our fast-paced world. It is also a chance to relinquish the desire to control every minute of our day, and to accept that a few extra minutes in line will not detrimentally affect the broader picture of our lives. As we grow older, we gradually come to understand that life is not measured by the speed at which we move, but by the quality of the moments we experience along the way. Choosing the longer line, in its own small way, is a practice in fully living each moment. 5. Prioritize time with family. There is an enduring wisdom that accompanies age, and one of the most important lessons I have learned is that time spent with family is absolutely irreplaceable. The truth is that our relationships with our loved ones, be they our children, grandchildren, or dear friends, represent the most valuable assets we possess as we mature. These bonds take on even greater meaning as we reflect upon the fleeting nature of time and the joy derived from simply being together. I have made it a priority to dedicate as much time as possible to my family, and this choice has proven to be one of the most fulfilling of my life. Whether it is a lazy Sunday afternoon with my grandchildren, a quiet meal shared with my spouse, or an engaging phone call with a cherished friend, these moments of connection imbue my life with purpose and significance. For many of us, family has been the foundation upon which our lives are built, and as we progress into our later years, nurturing these relationships becomes even more critical. This may involve actively participating in family gatherings, offering support during challenging times, or simply taking the time to listen and share meaningful stories. In these precious moments, we are reminded of the love that envelops us and the intricate ways our lives are intertwined with those we hold dear. 6. Focus on one task each day. In our younger years, we often feel compelled to accomplish a multitude of tasks simultaneously, but as we mature, we come to realize that life is not about how much we can do in a single day. Rather, it is about doing what truly matters, and doing it with care and precision. That is why I have adopted the habit of concentrating on just one meaningful task each day. Whether it is writing a heartfelt letter, tending lovingly to my garden, or organizing a collection of old photographs. By choosing one task that promises a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment, and by dedicating my full attention to it, I find that I am far more present and engaged in the activity. This practice not only helps to diminish the overwhelming feeling that accompanies an endless to-do list, but also allows me to relish the satisfaction that comes with completing something of genuine importance. For older adults, this approach to daily life is especially rewarding. It serves as a reminder that productivity is not measured solely by the quantity of tasks completed, but by the quality of the experience and the care with which each task is approached. 7. Plan tomorrow tonight. One of the simplest habits I have incorporated into my life to foster simplicity is planning for the next day the night before. This small act of preparation has a surprisingly profound impact on how I feel when I wake up in the morning. By dedicating a few minutes in the evening to envisioning the day ahead, writing down my top priorities, laying out my clothes, and even preparing my morning cup of coffee, I set the stage for a calm and organized start to the day. This habit has become increasingly significant as I have grown older. There is a soothing sense of peace that emerges from knowing exactly what the next day holds, coupled with the assurance of being fully prepared for it. Instead of waking up in a state of disarray or anxiety, I am able to greet the new day with purpose and clarity. For those of us in our later years, when memory might not be as sharp as it once was, this simple practice can also serve as a valuable tool to stay on track with appointments, social engagements, and daily routines. It is an effective way to reduce mental clutter, creating more space for the things that truly hold value. 8. Wake up with consistency. One of the most transformative methods for simplifying life is the establishment of a consistent daily routine, and for me, that begins with waking up at the same time every morning. I have discovered that rising early, before the hustle and bustle of the day begins, provides me with a rare, quiet moment to set a positive tone for the hours ahead. Whether I am sipping a warm cup of coffee, enjoying a few pages of reading, or simply sitting in silence, these early moments have become a cherished part of my routine. There is an undeniable comfort in knowing that each day begins with the same gentle rhythm. It instills a sense of stability and balance in life, particularly during a time when the pressures on our time differ greatly from those of our working years. For many of us who are retired or whose schedules have become more flexible, waking up with consistency is an essential habit that keeps us grounded and present, empowering us to set the pace of our day rather than succumbing to external demands. 9. Write it down. As we grow older, it is natural to notice that our memory may not retain information with the same sharpness as it once did. Instead of allowing this to become a source of frustration, I have found that writing things down is an exceptionally effective method of staying organized and reducing stress. Whether it is a simple grocery list, an important appointment, or a fleeting thought, I have made it a habit to immediately jot it down. This practice has revolutionized the way I manage my day-to-day life. It liberates my mind from the burden of trying to remember every little detail, ensuring that nothing important is forgotten. It is also an excellent strategy for capturing creative ideas or projects that I wish to revisit later. Whether I choose to use a traditional notebook, a planner, or a notes app on my smartphone, writing things down has proven invaluable for maintaining control over my schedule and relieving the mental load. This habit is particularly important as we age, when the number of appointments, social engagements, and family commitments can increase. By maintaining a written record, we free up mental energy and can focus more intently on enjoying the present moment. 10. Finish what you start. There is an undeniable sense of peace and satisfaction that accompanies the completion of a task. Whether it is a home project, a book that has been sitting on the shelf, or even a meaningful conversation that has been lingering in your mind. In my younger years, I often found myself beginning projects with great enthusiasm, only to abandon them as other responsibilities took precedence. However, as I have matured, I have made it a conscious effort to see things through to their end. This habit has imbued my life with a sense of closure and accomplishment that is deeply rewarding. It is not simply a matter of checking off items on a list. It is about honoring the commitments I make to myself and to those around me. Whether it involves finally repairing a cherished piece of furniture or completing a long overdue personal project, finishing what I start allows me to clear mental clutter and create space for new experiences, ideas, and sources of joy. For older adults, this practice is especially significant. It serves as a reminder that every completed task, no matter how small, carries its own reward and contributes to a sense of fulfillment. 11. Stay calm in the face of adversity. Over the years, I have learned that there is very little in life that we can truly control. However, we do have complete control over how we choose to respond to the challenges that arise. One of the most valuable lessons I have absorbed is the importance of remaining calm, regardless of the circumstances. Whether facing a difficult conversation, a frustrating setback, or a moment of personal hardship, choosing to remain calm has empowered me to navigate the unpredictable ups and downs of life with grace and resilience. This does not mean that I never feel anger, frustration, or sorrow. Rather, I have come to understand that reacting impulsively with anger or distress only exacerbates difficult situations. Instead, I allow myself a moment to take a deep, measured breath, gather my thoughts, and then respond in a manner that is both thoughtful and composed. For those of us in our later years, this ability to maintain calm under pressure is invaluable. It equips us with the inner strength needed to face the inevitable challenges that accompany aging, whether they be related to health, loss, or change. In this way, Staying calm is not merely a coping mechanism, but a deliberate choice to protect our inner peace and to approach life with dignity and resolve. 12. Choose gratitude over worry. Worry is an emotion that each of us experiences at various times. However, as I have grown older, I have come to realize that constant worry rarely produces positive results. It only serves to rob us of the joy inherent in the present moment. One of the most transformative habits I have developed is to actively choose gratitude over worry. Whenever I feel anxiety creeping in, whether triggered by concerns about health, family matters, or circumstances beyond my control, I consciously shift my focus to the things for which I am grateful. This simple change in perspective has had a tremendous impact on my overall outlook on life. Rather than becoming ensnared in a downward spiral of worry, I remind myself of the countless blessings that I enjoy: my continued good health, the unconditional love of my family, and the simple beauty of the world around me. Gratitude does not magically erase problems, but it does help to reframe them in a way that makes challenges seem more manageable and less overwhelming. For older adults, cultivating an attitude of gratitude can be a powerful antidote to the stress and anxiety that often accompany the later stages of life. It serves as a daily reminder that, despite the hardships we may face, there is always something positive to acknowledge and celebrate. 13. Grow through learning. The process of learning is a lifelong endeavor that does not cease when we retire or reach a certain age. On the contrary, it is something that we can, and indeed should, continue to pursue throughout our lives. I have made it a personal habit to remain open to growth by continually seeking new knowledge, whether it be through reading a captivating book, listening intently to an insightful podcast, or enrolling in a class on a subject that has long intrigued me. This commitment to lifelong learning has infused my life with a sense of vitality and wonder that I deeply cherish. For many older adults, learning represents a means of staying actively engaged with the world, keeping our minds sharp, and fostering a spirit of curiosity that defies the passage of time. It is a testament to the fact that we are never too old to learn something new, to explore fresh interests, or to challenge ourselves in unexpected ways. Whether it involves acquiring a new hobby, mastering a new skill, or simply keeping abreast of topics that pique our interest, the pursuit of knowledge is a powerful way to maintain our connection to the world and to ourselves. 14. Disconnect from negative news. There was a period in my life when I felt compelled to keep up with the news, following every headline and development with keen interest. However, over time, I came to understand that much of what is presented in the news is steeped in negativity, often leaving me feeling anxious, stressed, or even helpless. As a result, I made the deliberate decision to disconnect from the barrage of negative news. I am not suggesting that we should ignore important global events or issues, but rather that limiting our exposure to the constant stream of adverse news can allow us to focus more on the aspects of life that we can influence, rather than those we cannot. Instead of devoting hours to watching news programs or scrolling through social media feeds filled with despair, I choose to spend my time engaging in activities that bring me genuine joy, be it tending to my garden, immersing myself in a good book, or spending quality time with loved ones. For many older adults who may be more susceptible to feelings of isolation or anxiety, taking a break from the relentless negative news cycle is a crucial step towards safeguarding mental health and preserving a sense of inner peace. 15. Live within your means. One of the most enduring lessons I have learned throughout my life is the importance of living within one's means. It is all too easy to become entangled in the desire for more possessions, a larger house, a new car, or the latest technological gadgets. But I have come to understand that true happiness is not found in material accumulation. Rather, it stems from living a life that is deeply aligned with our values, and from making conscious choices that reflect our financial realities. Living within your means not only provides financial security, but it also fosters a profound sense of freedom. When you are not constantly driven by the pursuit of material goods or plagued by worries about debt, you have the luxury of devoting more time and energy to the things that truly matter. For older adults who may be planning for retirement or reevaluating their financial priorities, this practice is especially important. It is not a matter of deprivation, but rather of mindful spending, making deliberate choices that support a life of peace, joy, and freedom from unnecessary burdens. 16. Embrace the simple joys. As we grow older, we gradually come to appreciate that the simplest aspects of life often hold the greatest meaning. A warm cup of tea in the morning, a leisurely walk in the park, or a quiet moment spent in the company of a loved one. These are the moments that provide true joy and contentment. Embracing these simple pleasures has become one of the most cherished habits of my later years. For me, it involves deliberately slowing down to fully experience the everyday moments that might otherwise pass by unnoticed. Whether it is savoring a thoughtfully prepared meal, immersing myself in a good book, or simply watching the sunset, I have learned to value the beauty and richness found in life's simplest offerings. For older adults, this practice of appreciating the simple joys can be particularly rewarding. It serves as a daily reminder that fulfillment does not depend on extravagant experiences or material wealth, but rather on the mindful enjoyment of the present moment and the recognition that true happiness often lies in the ordinary. 17. Let go of perfectionism. Throughout much of my life, I strove relentlessly for perfection in every area, be it in my career, the upkeep of my home, or even in my personal relationship. However, with time, I have come to understand that perfection is not only unattainable, but also unnecessary. Embracing imperfection has proven to be one of the most liberating lessons I have learned. Life is inherently messy, and our imperfections are what render it beautiful and authentic. Instead of fixating on the impossible ideal of perfection, I now focus on doing my best and accepting that things may not always proceed exactly as planned. This shift in perspective has brought me a profound sense of inner peace and self-compassion that I had not previously experienced. For older adults, releasing the grip of perfectionism can be especially transformative. It allows us to accept the inherent unpredictability of life and to value the love, connection, and authentic joy that arise from simply being ourselves. 18. Spend time in nature. There is something undeniably healing about immersing oneself in nature. Whether that entails a brisk walk in the park, a leisurely hike in the mountains, or merely sitting outside while listening to the gentle songs of birds. Nature has a remarkable ability to calm the mind and soothe the soul. I have made it a habit to spend time in nature every day, even if only for a few precious minutes. For older adults, this connection with the natural world is especially vital. It offers a means of staying active, reducing stress, and rediscovering the intrinsic beauty of life that surrounds us. Whether it is through gardening, observing the wonders of wildlife, or simply enjoying the fresh air, spending time in nature serves as a powerful reminder of the simple yet profound pleasures available to us all. 19. Practice mindful breathing. One of the simplest yet most effective habits I have adopted is the practice of mindful breathing. Whenever I begin to feel stressed or overwhelmed, I take a few deep, deliberate breaths, concentrating fully on the sensation of air flowing in and out of my body. This simple act of mindful breathing helps to calm my mind, diminish anxiety, and reorient me firmly in the present moment. For older adults, mindful breathing is an invaluable tool for managing stress and cultivating inner peace, serving as a constant reminder that, regardless of the challenges that may arise, we always have the capacity to return to our breath and find balance. In the end, the richness of life is not determined by how quickly we move or by the volume of possessions we accumulate, but rather by the quiet, meaningful moments we choose to savor. By intentionally slowing down and living with purpose, we create space for joy, reflection, and genuine connection. These habits are not intended to change who we are at our core. They simply encourage us to embrace the inherent simplicity and beauty that surrounds us, regardless of where we find ourselves in our life journey. Remember that the moments you cherish today will eventually become the memories that sustain you tomorrow. Choose to live fully, deliberately, and with a heart full of gratitude. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you find these stories inspiring and motivating, please comment 1. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a great deal to us, and we appreciate the valuable time you have taken to join us in exploring these habits. Did you know that small, unnoticed changes in your home can make it feel outdated after 60? It is not just about the decor. It is about those hidden elements that can give you the impression that you are trapped in the past. Perhaps this sounds familiar to you. Your home should serve as a comforting sanctuary, yet over time, it is all too easy for it to begin feeling disconnected from your current needs and lifestyle. Whether the issue is clutter, old furniture, or outdated technology, there are exactly 12 surprising clues that indicate your home might be in need of a refresh. Stay with us as we show you how to transform your space into a place that truly supports your lifestyle after 60. Meet Deborah. She is 72, a proud homeowner who has lived in the same cozy house for over 40 years. Deborah has always cherished the warm, welcoming atmosphere of her home, a space filled with countless memories. However, recently, something began to feel amiss. The colors on the walls appeared dull and lifeless, the furniture was beginning to show signs of wear and tear, and even the flow of the rooms no longer felt as comfortable as it once did. Every time Deborah walked through her door, she sensed that her home was somehow stuck in the past. Perhaps you have felt the same way yourself. It is completely natural to feel a deep attachment to your home, for it holds the memories of years gone by and has served you well. Yet, as we age, our needs change, and what once worked perfectly may no longer suit our present lifestyle. Sometimes we do not even realize how drastically our surroundings have shifted until we pause and take a closer look. This is exactly what happened to Deborah. Like so many of us, she did not know where to begin. She needed a guide, a gentle hand, to help her identify the subtle signs that her home no longer met her current needs as effectively as it once had. If you have noticed that something feels off in your own home, or if you have begun to feel that your space no longer reflects who you are today, rest assured that you are not alone. In this video, we will explore 12 surprising clues that suggest your home might be feeling outdated. Even better, we will demonstrate what you can do to breathe new life into your space without overwhelming yourself. Whether you opt for a small update or a more significant change, you will find practical, actionable tips that can make a world of difference. So pour yourself a cup of tea, sit back, and let us guide you through these 12 surprising clues. And please do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on living your best life after 60, because you will not want to miss what is coming next. Clue number 1 is the presence of cluttered spaces. Take a moment to consider your living room, your bedroom, or even your hallway. Does it sometimes feel as though there is simply too much stuff accumulating everywhere? As we age, it is only natural that we tend to accumulate more belongings. Sentimental items, collections, gifts from family members, and even items we keep just in case. However, the truth is that clutter has a tendency to creep into every nook and cranny of your home, making even the most beautifully decorated space feel outdated and cramped. Have you ever entered a room and immediately felt overwhelmed by the sheer amount of clutter surrounding you? It is easy to dismiss this feeling, attributing it to the natural state of living in a home that you have loved for many years. Yet the fact remains that too much clutter creates an atmosphere of chaos that can negatively affect the way you feel in your own space. Clutter can make rooms appear smaller, dimmer, and less inviting. The good news is that you do not have to remove everything all at once or discard all the items you love. Instead, start with small, manageable steps. Begin by decluttering one area at a time. Perhaps start with a countertop or your coffee table. For instance, you might begin by sorting through items you no longer use, considering donating or selling those that no longer serve a purpose or hold sentimental value. You will be amazed at the difference it makes when you create more open spaces. Your home will feel fresher, more breathable, and unquestionably more up-to-date. Rest assured that those treasured items you choose to let go will still preserve their memories. Only now they will be organized in a more manageable way. As you work through the process of decluttering, do not forget to assess your storage spaces as well. Ask yourself if there are better ways to store your belongings out of sight, such as using bins or cabinets, so that they do not overwhelm your living space. Have you noticed clutter creeping into your home? We would love to know if you have struggled with clutter or if you have discovered effective strategies to keep your space feeling fresh and organized. Remember, this is a process, and every small step contributes to creating a home that feels as wonderful as it should. Clue number 2 focuses on outdated furniture. Now let us discuss your furniture. When was the last time you took a careful look at your sofas, chairs, or tables? Over the years, furniture styles evolve. What once appeared sleek